Hey guys, it's time for guitar. Good to have you here. I am going to go post our link over on our website. Website is denverguitarorchestra.com. From there, you'll get all the sheet music. Everything's free. So, I guess you get what you pay for, right? Let me post this here. Whoops, yep. Come here. Link to join. Delete. Right click, paste, shift, highlight, link, bold, enter, edit, settings, open link in new window, update, and update. Alright, so that should get us there. Let me post this over here as well. denverguitarorchestra.com. And then you wait, and then you click here, and you click here, and you click here, and you click there, and you hit tweet. Alright, so now we're on Twitter. And Alright, so weird. Alright, there's that. Vic is in. Sound and video are good in sunny Eugene. Vic, well, we missed you in harmonica class. Were you there and just hiding out? I was like, we can't start without Vic. All right, looks like yep, this is our 385th guitar class, and that's something. All right, so we are going to start with book one. Okay, there's only, and so this would be the first night on guitar. There are only a handful of things that are super important, and I want to run through those really quickly with you and get you started. If you are watching the replay of this video, and you're thinking, I want to learn how to play guitar, but I don't care about Frere Jacques, and that's the wrong way to think, right? What you want to be thinking is, I want to learn how to play guitar the right way, the hard way, the complicated way, so that I can spend the rest of my life doing this quite happily. And in order to do that, I need some really basic level skills. And in order to get those basic level skills, we're going to play some kind of songs, right? All right, so first thing is tuning the guitar. When you walk into my classroom in real life, the first thing I do is sit down, I tune your guitar, right? So if you do not own one of these guys, let me get it in the center here. How do I do this? It's called a Snark Super Tight HZ. If you don't own one of these, you're making a mistake. You can get them at Amazon. They're about 20 bucks, a little less than 20 bucks. They have the super modern computer in it. They're chromatic. You work on every instrument. I own lots of these, and they're way better than the one that comes with your guitar. So get one. Second thing is we got to tune the guitar. Phrase that pays, the phrase that you got to memorize it. If everybody online will say it out loud, it's Eddie 8 Dynamite. Goodbye, Eddie. Hey, Sandy, welcome in. 68 degrees up there. Bring on Brother John, she says. Okay, she's ready. Let's see. I got back from the running around in the sun. Oh, okay. Oh, that's true. Vic has missed harmonica because it's sunny outside, and that happens so rarely where she lives. So good for you. Leaving in 10 minutes before the hour. All right, Linda, you're going to miss the classical stuff today, but you know how to catch up. All right. So, Eddie 8 Dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. Let's memorize that phrase. Eddie 8 Dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. Right? Not a very particular. It's supposed to be an image in your head that you can remember forever. So E on the top string, okay, and then your little thing would tell you E, and then A. There's that, and then D, and then G, and then B. And then E. Okay? Every single time you pick up the guitar, you have to tune it up. I play guitar every single day for quite a bit, usually an hour or two a day, and I have to tune it up every single time I play. So if I have to tune it up every single time I play, you have to tune it up every single time you play as well. So there's no short circuit to that. Eddie 8 Dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. That's the first thing. Second thing is the guitar. The guitar you have is probably too big, right? But that's okay. That's the guitar you have. You notice I got a little tiny parlor guitar here with a giant neck on it. I use this for most of my practice times these days because it's super easy to hold, and I still get my workout in, and things are not hard and complicated like my full-size guitars. But whatever size guitar you have is fine. That's the one you're going to learn on. It doesn't matter if it's metal string or plastic string, either one. I will teach these classes with a plastic string one, but everything that I teach in that way applies to the metal strings as well. And then the other thing is how to hold the darn thing. You'll spend an awful lot of time working on that. If you play it like the Cowboys do over this with here, you make your life harder because now your thumb has to come up and be over the top. And really, honestly, in this in fingerstyle guitar, this is not helpful, and it's not at all what you want to do. You really do want to hold it like a classical guitar player, and it's not unimportant if you are an electric guitar player and you're standing up at a microphone and you have the strap on the guitar and it's hanging off your neck. It drops down into classical playing position. So even if you're in a rock band, you're going to play the guitar in classical guitar position. The only people who play it this way are singers and cowboys, right? And they're sitting around the campfire singing, and so talk yourself into playing the guitar properly, which is about a 50 degree angle, somewhere in this neighborhood. And I'm sitting mine on, because it's a small body, I'm sitting it on my leg here, but if it was a larger body, it would sit between my legs, and I would generally have this leg up on a stand of some sort, and I would be playing it like that. I think, because this is a teeny tiny bodied guitar, about a half size, I can just set it up on my leg and it's just fine. Okay, so that's it. How you hold the guitar and how you tune the guitar up matter. Okay, there's only the two other things you got to learn on night one. Okay, and really, this is not unimportant. This stuff will take you so far down the road you can't believe it. We're going to look at Brother John. That's your first piece of music. There's one line that I care that you look at. It's called Guitar Melody Line. And you will see on Guitar Melody Line it says 0240, 0240, 457, 457, 797 540, 797 540, 000, and then there's a repeat, and then after that it says 00, and then there's weird 2 zeros connected by a swoosh. Okay, so that's the line you're going to look at right now. The big thing that you need to take away from this is that those are frets. Okay, so your frets are numbered with 0 is if you don't hold anything down. Then this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. 5 has a dot on it. Okay, on this guitar, there's no dots up here, but the dots are on the side of the fretboard. 5 has a dot, and then there's 6, and then 7 has a dot. That's very typical with almost all guitars. 5 and 7 have dots, and then I have fret 8, fret 9, fret 10, 11, and 12. You'll have extra frets down here, and when we get into more advanced music, you do play them. Last night in Orchestra, those guys have a 15. Right, that's a note that they're really going to play. Most of the time on guitars they have a dot on 9. Sometimes it's on 10, so that gets a little confusing. I usually take off the dots that show up on 9 and put them on 10 because that's how my brain works. It's where it really should be, but 9, and they put it on 9 a lot because it's pretty. So figure out where your dots are, and that's going to help you. So we're going to play this first two measures, 0240, and we'll play them twice. So just with your thumb in your right hand, you pluck the first string. Okay. That's this first string is the one down there. Okay, and the 6th string is the one closest to your face. Okay, but we want to just press the first string with your thumb going down, O, and then we use your middle finger to press the 2 down. Press it kind of hard, and then a 4 with your pinky, and then an open again. 0240. Okay. You'll notice you don't see my thumb sticking up here, and your thumb should not be sticking up here either. It should be hanging out on the fat part of the neck, and it generally hangs out right behind where your middle finger is. Some people want you to play it with right behind your index finger. I have found over the years that it's much, much better to have it behind your middle finger. This guy, that way it's more centered in your palm, and it feels like it just feels like a little bit better leverage that way. So let's play those two measures again, 0240 and 0240 again. Middle and pinky are the two fingers you're using. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 0. Now slide your thumb up and add your index finger at fret number 4. Okay, and then you're going to use your index, middle, and pinky on 4, 5, and 7. Ready? Play. 4, 5, 7. 4, 5, 7. Okay, let's do those two notes, those two measures again. Just 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. Index, middle, pinky. Index, middle, pinky. Ready? Play. Index, middle, pinky. 4, 5, 7. Okay, now we're going to put that whole first line together. 0240, 0240. Then slide up 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. From the top, 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 0. Slide up 4, 5, 7. Again, 4, 5, 7. Now, this week, if you're on book 1 and you're your first night on guitar, okay, you're going to play the next section much slower than you're supposed to. You're going to put your ring finger on 7, hit that note, 7, pinky up here on 9. It's a little bit of a stretch. Hit the 9. Come back to the ring finger. You never need to lift it up at that point. You can do 7, 9, and then back to 7. And then your middle finger is going to jump down with a little bit of a stretch here to the 5. Middle finger on 5, index on 4, and then open. Play it again. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. Together. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open. One more time. Ring finger on 7. 7, pinky on 9. Back to ring on 7. Middle on 5. Index on 4. And then open. Now, in reality, when we play this song next week, we're going to play it at double that tempo. So, of course, how music works, the hardest measures to play, you also have to play them twice as fast. So most people, you're going to have to spend a little bit of time working on those two measures specifically. And however fast you can play those, that will determine how fast you can play the rest of the song. Measure 7 and 8, the last line on there is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But you'll notice the 0, that the first 0 is on the top line. That's your first string. The second 0 is on the second line, and that's your second string. And then back to the first string and the 0. Okay, measure 8's the same. So this week, let me play what I would like you to work on. You're going to work on measures 5 and 6 at half speed. You're not going to be in a rush to get those up to speed until the following week. Okay, so this week, all I want you to do is try to get the notes correct. And let's play that together if you can. And if not, just listen and you'll see what you're supposed to do. You can always come back, check the video. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4. 0, 2, 4. Slide up. 4, 5, 7. Again. 4, 5, 7. Half speed here. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. Again. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. Back to full speed. Open first string, open second string, open first string, open first string, open second string, open. Okay? Now, on your sheet music, a couple of important things. Number one, measures 5 and 6 are supposed to be twice as fast as we played them. So we'll work on that the following week. This week you're just trying to get the notes in. The second thing that's kind of important, at the end of measure 8 you see a repeat sign. That's the heavy double bar line with the 2 dots, right? That's at the end of measure 8. And I wrote down there specifically, repeat, exclamation point, right? And when you repeat, you just go back up to the top in this case. Not every song will be like that, but most of the songs will be like that. Where you just go back to the top and then you play from there. So in other words, you're going to play Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. And then the second time around, you play Are you sleeping, Brother John? So you'll do the French version and then the English version. See, I'm teaching you French as well. And then I specifically wrote on there, on the first time through, you play measure 8, okay? Because there's a little 1 in that bracket above measure 8, and I said you play that the first time. The second time through, you do not play measure 8, and you jump over and play measure 9. The only difference between 8 and 9 is the very last note is much longer than the note in measure 8. And basically what you're going to do is just hit and then let it ring for a while. Okay, so hold the note for 6 beats, it says. So that all of that piece is everything you need to know about how to play this piece of music is on this piece of paper. Now there are one other thing I need to talk about, and that's the chords. And if you go up to the very top above measure 1, you'll see left hand, open, index, middle, ring, pinky. It tells you the names of the fingers that I put on this paper. We'll learn another set of names for them eventually. You'll see an alternate E major chord for the tough acts. You guys don't need to worry about that. Underneath that, quarter note equals 80. That's how fast the sound file on the website is running. So if you want to play along with the sound file on the website, it's playing at 80. Sometimes that's too slow, sometimes that's too fast, and you can use your cell phone and download an app to adjust the tempo on those MP3s. And then you see treble clef, that's the swooshy round thing. Most of you know what a treble clef is. And then some pound signs, those are sharps. We don't have to worry about those when we're playing off from tablature. And then of course you see the standard notes: quarter note, 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 half note, right? And we'll be talking about all of that stuff as we go along. You have 3 types of notes in here. You have, well, 4. You have a whole note, a half note, a quarter note, and some eighth notes. And you have a lovely tie right down there at the end of measure 9 into measure 10. Those are ties. That makes those nice. It takes the value of one note and adds it to the second note. So plenty of stuff on here to make yourself, for us to talk about over time. If you can learn to read this single piece of paper, you will be able to play all fretted instruments. It's kind of a big deal. Now, the last thing we want to talk about is that E chord that's sitting above the first note, and you'll notice that those chord shapes are set up as if you're holding the guitar vertically, okay? And that means on the left side is your 6th string, and on the right side is the 1st string, okay? So that's how that's held up. And then so on this piece of paper, it says, hey, put a finger on the 3rd string up in the 1st fret, put your finger. On the 2nd fret on the 5th string, you're going to put a finger. And then on the 4th string, you're also going to put a finger. So that's what you're doing there. Okay? So that's what those black dots mean on that little grid above the first note is, here's where you put your index finger. Okay? So I can't do it in this angle. Here. And then these 2 guys go here. Okay? And then when you strum, it should sound like that. It should sound like the greatest thing ever. Good chance, however, it's going to sound like this, right? Because you may not be squeezing hard enough. Okay, so you have to squeeze kind of hard. When you first start, you got to develop a muscle here on your hand, and so you got to squeeze a little bit tighter than you wish you had to. Long term, you'll get where the weight of your hand does the whole job for you. You don't need your thumb at all. Okay, so my thumb is doing nothing right now. But when you start, you got to squeeze pretty hard. Okay? Your thumb is right behind the middle finger, and it's down. It's not sticking up here, right? It's down like that. Okay? And then what we're going to do with the E chord next week, you're going to get to hear my beautiful singing voice. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. practice a bunch of different stuff with the right hand. This week, just get the chord on, use your thumb, strum it down, and that way you get your E chord, and then that's your first chord. There's only 4 chords in book number 1, and they're all essential. So you don't, please know that this is not a little bit important. This is critically important to get your E chord where it sounds like that. Okay, and know that your hand will get tired and that sort of stuff. It's normal to have pain on the front, on the ends of your fingers. If you have long fingernails, you got to cut them off. It's also normal for your hand to feel tired right here where the thumb comes in. Just this general area here feels tired. A lot of times I'll feel tired right in the middle of my palm. You'll feel some general tightness in your arm, but you do not want to have pain there. If you're having pain, you're probably messing with a carpal tunnel issue. So a little bit of tightness is fine, but not pain. That's not okay. And so that's the main thing you'll be feeling as you go through here. It does take a few weeks to get enough hand strength to have that come out. Okay, so homework for book 1. Make sure you can play an E chord. Make sure that you have gone through the melody part, the 0240, 0240, etc. lots and lots of times, because next week we will play those together, and then we will speed up measures 5 and 7. So that's your goal for the week. Just play Brother John. Get where you know you've taken time to read every single thing on this piece of paper, so that you have that for your ready to go. If you happen to be on the website and you click on sheet music, there is a book 1 area down there, and in that book 1 area, if you want the whole entire book 1 emailed to you because you're on an iPad, I can do that for you. Send me an email. There's also a progress check sheet on there where you can check off every time you do a song. What I basically ask you to do is what the heck's going on here? Why is it sad about that? This is what it needs to do. Open. I don't know why it didn't open naturally. That's weird. I'll have to look and see what's going on. There is a progress check sheet on here. Oh, I know what I did. I'll have to fix that for you. But I'll fix it in here at the end of class. There's a progress check sheet on there, and you can just mark off what date you did each song. And I ask you to record yourself as you go along, and you'll see what that means. And then there's a practice log every day, if you can, 5 minutes a day, right? And eventually you have to practice 2.5 hours a day, but not for a long time, right? Just a little bit every day is going to go a lot farther than if you try to cram everything in on a Sunday, and so those are the tools that I'm giving to you this week. Focus in on Brother John, everything on this page, and you're all set. Let's run on to book 2. Book 2 tonight. I'm now on the wrong page. It's not cooperating. Book 2, we are playing Skip to My Loo. How many of you had a great time playing Skip to My Loo last week? Skip to My Loo is probably the most troubling song in the entire level 2. And it's not quite as troubling as when we get to Wheels on the Bus, but it's pretty close. This is a pretty brutal piece of music. Let's run through your F chords and your C7s. Okay, so remember bar, E chord, blended low, slide it up, add your bar. That's your first chord. Your other chord, C7, it's a C chord with your pinky right there. Back to F. Let's see if I can do them. Okay, all right. Give it a yeoman's try. Sandy, you'll be fine. You're a good musician. You'll be fine. All right. Don't jump into Skip to My Loo, though. Skip to My Loo it makes everybody sad. All right, here we go. From the top, just the chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fly in the buttermilk. Shoot, fly, shoot, 2, 3, 4. Fly in the buttermilk. Shoot, fly, shoot, 2, 3, 4. Fly in the buttermilk. Shoot, fly, shoot, 2, 3, 4. Skip to my Loo, my darling. Okay, so how how'd we do it getting back and forth between those two? That's really pretty, it's not advanced, but it is high level, right? To get from this F chord to the C7 efficiently and back, you could do yourself a favor by just doing nothing but that for an entire week. Just going from F to C7, back to F. Gonna come up. Pretty tough song. Okay, pretty tough chords, and they are coming up in your life. So the more you work on them, the easier they'll be. Let's play the melody real quick. Should take but a jiffy. From the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4. Now you'll hear me counting out loud on those long notes, and you should be doing the same thing because you come in early otherwise, because our tendency would be skip to my Loo, my darling, and only put one beat there instead of 4, right? And so make sure you don't come in early or late, right? That's a part of playing an ensemble, and part of making good music is making sure your timing is correct. Okay, so there's that. Got the hardest chords in the book, and you've got a melody that's right, and a song that's right. But the skill set that's here, it's super important. So let's see how we do on the tough acts. From the top, nice and slow. I'm gonna pluck the whole thing. Okay, I think I'll pluck the first time, and then the second time through, I'm gonna come through with my thumb. Okay, so from the top, not fast because it's hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Whoops. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 to the top. Finish. All right. So I missed measure 14 both times through. What was I doing wrong? So I've got. Oh, I'm supposed to just add this. 2, 3, 4. All right. So yeah, major 14 is really surprisingly difficult. And again, don't worry about getting this song perfect. What you're really trying to get perfect is that switch between F and C7 and just getting super comfortable with it. Comes up often when I'm playing guitar, and it's like, I hate that so much, but it's not going away, right? And so you got to get good at it. And so there you go. A really lovely piece of music for you to ruin your day with. All right, so next week, the week that I need you to get in, the more we get together, right? Way better song. Okay. Most of you know it. It's in 3, and G chord is your main chord, D chord is your second chord. Okay. And remember, always, when you're thinking about 2-chord songs, if whatever song chord is here, pretty good chance your buddy's going to be here. G, A, B, C, D. Look at that. Shows up perfectly. Why don't we take just a moment to run through the tough acts, see if there's anything in here that's terribly scary. G chord you've had since book 1, D chord you've had since book 1, and the melody here is nothing, right? It's not hard at all to play. Lots and lots of zeros. Tough acts, let's take a look. Grab your G chord, pinky, ring finger on the 2nd string. Oops, I forgot the pickup. The more we get together, I think that's probably a mistake here. So if we come in the second time, 15, the happier will be. Yeah, so I didn't put the chord at the beginning of measure 17. I almost think you should put it there. So I'm going to hand right in 3, 2, 0. So that I have the full chord at the beginning of 17. So it would end up sounding like the happy will be. Okay, I think that's going to sound better. So put the 0, 2, 3 underneath the 0, the first 0 in measure 17. I think it'll sound just a little bit better. All right. My notes on here, lesson, playing at different tempos. Try it at different tempos. Play it slow, play it fast, see what you come up with. And then, of course, your right-hand pattern always. Once you get it into book 2, this far into book 2, you really start needing to be able to play with your claw and with your thumb in lots of different ways. So make sure you're practicing with all of that stuff. All right, beautiful. The more we get together. That's one of my, I like that song. All right, that's book 2. Book 3. We had House of the Rising Sun, and measure 16. I've got it under an A minor, and this week I've been playing it under an E7, and I think it sounds better. The problem is it's kind of hard to. I'm one. It's kind of hard to switch to that E7 pretty quickly. So maybe just put a full E7 at the beginning of measure 16 and then delete the 0 right after it. I think it might sound better there. I'm going to play an E7 when we get to 16, just to give a little bit more drama. Let's play it through 3 times. Double check your chords. Do you know what an A minor is? Right? You know your C. From A minor, you just move your ring finger. Okay? There is a house should know your D because that's from book 1. New Orleans. There's your lovely F chord from Skip to My Loo. They call the rising. Notice when you're in C, E7's right above it. Sun. And it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. In God I know I'm one. Yeah, I think put a slow E7 in there. It's going to sound the best. All right, from the top, if you want to play chords, play chords. If you want to play melody, and Sandy, if you're still hanging around, you can jump in on the melody on this one. You know how to do that. And then the rest of us, let's grab Tough Axe and see how we do. From the top, 1. Oh, let's play it all 3 times through. 3 times through. 1, 2. Played it this week, the more I think just plain old regular bar chord A minors on the 5th fret there, those 55570 O's. I've been playing them as 555770 all week, and it seems to me just to be maybe a little bit less complicated way of doing it, because you kind of get used to this E minor shape, and then as you move it up the neck, and you end up, you have an A here anyway. I like to do it where that's an open A, this A, but you got a barred A there on 6. It works just as good, especially if you're thumbing it, right? And then nice big round chords. Isn't that a fun song? Like, you could work on that and really get good at it and turn it into something. It's really nice. I don't have any problems with anything on there. I really am channeling the animals as I'm playing it. Pretty cool. So hopefully that's going well for you. And Sandy says she's still here. Good. I can now practically play house! Exclamation point. Way to go, Vic. For a lot of people, this is sort of one of those songs that they really do want to be able to play on guitar. And the nice part is, don't play it fast, right? It says quarter note equals 100. I think we played maybe 75, something like that. And did anybody? I mean, we didn't have to get our money back or anything, right? We just enjoyed it. I can do one chord per measure instead of just playing the melody. Yeah, why not, right? There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor, and God, I know I'm one. What's wrong with that? Nothing. I mean, that's beautiful. That's one chord per measure, right? Instead of just playing the melody. So, and it's cute because Linda says, I can do this one thing instead of just playing the melody. Well, playing the melody is the most important thing, right? And it was just that Linda's been with me, 2.5, 3 years. Playing melody is something that she can do in her sleep, so it feels like just playing the melody isn't a big deal. It's a huge deal, right? If you're playing this, if you get together with if you go over to somebody's house and they're like, let's play guitar together, they'll know these chords. They know the chords. They do not know how to play from tablature. And all of a sudden, you're super important. Right? They can't do that. The other guitar players you know in your life don't know how to do that. You should teach them, by the way, because it's super fun. All right. I want to talk very quickly about the Internationalé. This is one of my all-time favorite songs. I say that about every song, but this one's different. This one's on a whole another level. I love this piece of music. It is not one that you probably just run into on a day-to-day basis. For those of you with enough history behind you, you'll remember communism, and back in 1880, this became known. I don't know if it was 1880s or early 19th century. This song became known as the communist national anthem, and so you won't become a communist if you play it. But you'll hear that let's come together and support the common man kind of feeling in the song. And so let's run through just the pieces and parts of it, and then we may spend a couple weeks on this one. Not because I think you need to know how to play the communist national anthem, but because everything in here is so good. It's just so French, and with this sort of wholeness to it, and there's about 3 different sort of movements in the piece. You see, it's a long piece, so we'll spend a couple weeks on it, but take the time to get to know it. Let's run through the chords. Arise, start with the D chord. Arise, ye damned ones of the earth. A7. Arise, ye starving, lonely prisoners. For reason erupts like volcanoes and signals the end of pain. Of the past, let's make a tableau rasa. Enslaved masses, stand up, stand up. Isn't that exactly what you'd expect there? Wrong. The world will soon change its foundations, and we are nothing if not all. Let the last struggle end now, and tomorrow will be one. The Internationalé unites the human race. Let the last struggle fret. Internationalé. We're not going to really play it that way, by the way. Unites the human race. Okay, so you can feel that sort of schmaltzy, French-ish feeling in the whole song. It's actually the words are obviously a translation. I think probably in French it's probably better, but you can sense that anthem in it, and that's what we're going to be working on toward getting an anthem feel out of this. Now, of course, the melody, you can pluck your way through it. Just pay attention to the standard notation, that your notation is right. But I would run through the melody a bunch of times. We'll probably run through that next week, just the melody only. So spend a little bit of time on that. When all those chords in measure 29, you don't need to do all that. Really, just that B7 is fine, right? And it's up here on 4. The international. Let me look at those chords. I don't like those. I don't like the way those chords look. I'll clean those up. Let me see what I can do with that, because that's too hard. I'll circle those. I'll fix those. I'll get a revised version of that up there, because I don't like the way that's going. That makes it feel sad. It's not. It does work perfectly in the tough acts though. So for the tough acts, it looks fine, but the if you're singing it, those chords it's too much there. So I'll clean that up just a little bit and see if we can't make it a little easier to think about as we're going through there. Just so you know, years ago, I wrote a zombie musical, and in one of the songs I took this song and turned it into a zombie song. And so ever since then, I've been very, very enamored with this piece of music. So I'll tell you, it's all great about 400 times, and by the end of when we're done with it, you'll be like, okay, it's not terrible. Okay, so just so you know. So work on that a little bit this week. Go listen to the MP3. Think of yourself marching through the streets, holding a red flag, getting ready to go to war for the people, right? So it's not that great, but that's what's going on with this piece of music. Now that's it. That's it for book 3. Okay. Now, if you're not interested in classical music, you should be, but if you're not, you're done, right? And off you go. The classical music here is stuff that we've been working on out of the RCM book, and so we got about 15 minutes. Let's see how many of these we can knock out today. So grab a simple dialogue. Hopefully I had a chance to peek at that this week. Classical. And it's interesting, because this piece of music, it's exactly what it is. There's a dialogue between your these fingers and your thumb, and that's what's going to be happening in here. And I gave you, as we get a little further into these exercises, you'll notice M-I starts showing up a lot more, because that's really what the purpose of the exercise is. So I feel kind of compelled to put those on there. You don't have to do it, but you probably should. Thumb, and then M, middle, I, index, right? M-I, and you'll see A's popping up. That's your ring finger, annular. I don't know how to pronounce it, but P is your thumb, I is your index, M is your middle, and A is your ring finger. And I don't think if I remember right, there's no A's in here. So you're supposed to play the entire thing with your thumb when you're on the bass notes, and the other ones on alternating M's and I's. M-I, 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 M-I-M, M-I-M, M-I-M-I, right? This type of stuff. Okay, so let's give it a try, see how we do. And again, it says quarter note equals 132. That's fast. We'll play it much slower than that. from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I probably rushed to the end there a little bit. Right, so those are half notes, right? So they're half the speed of everything else. Isn't that? It's actually kind of a fun little tune. Gives you a chance to work on your MIs, and sometimes I am. If you, at one point I grabbed my ring finger because it seemed like a smarter choice. But your goal is M-I lots, right? Because as we get further into more and more classical music, this is going to become such a ingrained part of what we do that now's a great time to get started on that. Nice little song. There's nothing against that song at all. It's got a pleasant little thing. Let's see. Linda snuck out on us. She'll catch the rest later. And Vic is into the classical. Yeah, it is fun. Notice, guys, the tablature makes all this stuff pretty straightforward and easy. But if you look at the standard notation, it's pretty clear you have two voices going on. You have your tenor voice or alto voice in this case up toward the top of the standard notation. That's the what feels like the melody a little bit. But then you have the second voice, which is your thumb on here on your deep strings, and it's doing its own melody. It's a little bit of a what they call basso ostinato, where it's the same notes over and over. But there is a melody going on there that's countering what's going on in the other melody, and so you end up with guitar. Very often in classical music, you think of it as two separate instruments. One instrument's on these three strings, the other instrument's on these three strings, and your thumb does a lot of work on these three strings, and then a lot of times it's index, middle, and ring, or just index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, all of that stuff. So you really are playing two instruments at the same time. Kind of cool that they're already in book 0 here. We're already starting to work on that stuff. So hopefully that piece is going pretty well for you. I will mention again that once we get to the end of the stuff on the website that's posted now, we're just going to go back through and play everything in book 0 with me shutting my mouth, and we're going to play through it as quickly as we can so we can just refresh and make sure we know everything that's going on. So don't neglect, I mean you can neglect it until we're ready to go, but we will do book 0 again without instruction, just running through the whole thing, and then I've already started posting a little bit out of book 1, so there's that. Alright, let's go look at Bagatelle. All right, the biggest thing you can see in Bagatelle is chords, right? And you're going to be doing what looks like a D chord, right, in that first measure, but this finger's off. I recommend grabbing your chords because it's going to look like that. I may go back in and actually put chords in on the top of this because I do think they're super useful in this piece of music where you're... That doesn't sound like a D chord. Just by lifting this up, you get this cool sound, a 1970s sound, right? He wrote this in '96, but it feels very, very, like one of those cheesy movies from the '70s. Okay, and you're in 3, so you've got your bass going on, it's doing its thing, and then you've got these chords up above in the treble, and it's doing its thing. Okay, so it's 1. Let's play it. 1, 2, 3. idea? I want to play it one more time. I was playing it pretty good earlier today, and then I didn't play it so well this time. In measure 9, when you start doing the double plucks on the chord, it can sneak up on you. That's what you did this time. Also, I think 18, 19 becomes a bit more challenging just because it's quite a bit different than everything that's preceded it. And you're like, right? Easy to get caught there. From the top, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, work on those harmonics. They're going to come up. This one happens to be on the 4th string at the 12th fret, and the only way you know that is that it says harmonics on it. And I did put little square note heads on there. Right, isn't that nice? Dong. All right, that's a fun piece of music. All right, so we'll get back to that again, at some point in the future. I like it. Works. Lesson 61. This goes all the way back to when I applied for school. Very exciting. And I didn't have a chance to run through this earlier today, so let's see how I do, how you do. And we'll call this our end of the day song. So the first thing I'm looking at, okay, I'm in C. Okay, I'm going to grab my C chord. Is that going to help? Heck yeah. So this one is supposed to be super fast. We're not going to play it fast. Okay, take our time. 1, 2, 3. Well, I got it close, right? Not great, but all right. What time is it? Let's do it one more time just to go through it, and then we'll decide if we're going to play it again next week based on whether I can play it a little bit better than that. Okay. The challenge with this one is a lot of the fingering isn't particularly comfy, and so it can be a little bit like it looks pretty straightforward, but you end up kind of crinkled around with your fingers quite a little bit. All right, from the top, not fast. 1, 2, 3. From 24, from 24, get 11. From 24, 1, 2, 3. Isn't that a good song? We will play this one more time next week. So we'll drop off Simple Dialog and Bagatelle. And next week we'll start at Lesson 61. We've also got Ninu. What a terrible name for a song. But Ninu, again, is another one of these songs where you've got this very predictable bass line. Blom, blom, blom. Right? And that means that all of this IMA business is going on up above there. So pay a little bit of attention to the fingering notations on there. I went and put them on every single note just to help me know what's going on there. The next one, that Ukrainian melody, I really wanted it to be great. It's okay. It's not wonderful. It's good enough, right? It's fine. And then Lesson 48, for another one from Sagreras to wrap it up the book. And so it's everything Sagreras writes is great. So I'd say let's do lessons. Let's try to get through those 4 next week. Lesson 61, Ninu, Ukrainian melody, and lesson 48. And then we have played everything out of the intro book. And then we'll just go back, and over the next few weeks we'll just play through everything one more time, and then we'll start on book 1 here toward the end of the summer. Okay. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. Thanks for being here. Hopefully that was helpful. And I will see all of you down the road soon. And that's it. That's all I know. Have a wonderful evening. Who's left? Vic, Sandy, and a couple of other people that are in there that I'm glad you made it in as well. Peace.